मंथ टू मंथ बता दें?
जी 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 जी।
चलो सुनो। 2024, in one of the nuggets, Guruji predicted. Guruji specifically answered a question of Pratik ji saying that this time it will not matter who wins the US president election. That person is going to win who is going to actually trigger the decline of US and will inadvertently facilitate as a catalyst to the inevitable rise of Bharat. Now, first, let us understand what Guruji has already predicted. It is there on Guruji's prophecy videos across YouTube. First, understand the superarching architecture. Then I will drill down to specific prophecies. And you can ask me as many questions as you want. It is dependent on how intelligent my disciples are to extract as many prophecies you want. It's up to you. See, the superarching architecture is very simple. Between 2024 and 2044, you have to understand what is going to happen in these 20 years. These 20 years are the most consequential years ever witnessed in the history of mankind for three fundamental reasons. After 1,000 years of tapasya, the divinity of Bharat is going to wake up and manifest itself. This world has seen many materialistic resurgence and renaissance. The resurgence and renaissance of Venice, Ottoman Empire, Spanish Armada, Portuguese Empire, Dutch East India Company, British East India Company, Pax Britannia, Pax Americana. From Roman Empire to American exceptionalism or American imperialism, you have seen a materialistic journey of empires, colonizers, crusaders. For the first time, mankind will witness in the living memory of 2000 years the resurgence and renaissance, the waking up of a spiritual mega power that ushers in a spiritual golden age for humanity itself. And this all would have been accomplished by 2050 in totality. Now, if we break down this evolutionary trajectory, a 12-year of extremely tumultuous period has started from 14th of June 2024. It will last till 14th of June 2036. In these 12 years, there will be mega wars, pandemic level disease outbreak, climatic breakdown, natural disasters, extreme loss of human life, redrawing of country topographies. Many countries will cease to exist in their present form. There will be geographical and territorial expansion of Bharat in one of the most divine non-military spiritual manner with consensus. A new kind of economics based on spirituality will take root, powered by artificial intelligence and blockchain. Essentially geodesic blockchain AI, essentially structural intelligence. Now coming to the ongoing war in Strait of Hormuz. This conflict will continue for a long time, but in various forms. There will be highs and there will be lows. There will be periods of kinetic action when live action can be felt, and then there will be periods of passive actions when consolidation and preparation for the next kinetic action will go on. This conflict rooted in Strait of Hormuz, Bab el-Mandeb, Suez Canal, Horn of Africa is going to destroy three economies: the American economy, the European economy, and the Middle Eastern economy, which in turn will destroy Chinese economy. The demographic collapse of China, Japan, South Korea will add another layer of complexity of this economic collapse, geopolitical collapse, geostrategic collapse of China, this region of China, South Korea, Japan, Middle East, US, and Europe. By collapse, Guruji means decline from their present level of geopolitical, geostrategic, geoeconomic heft. And the world capital, the center of gravity of geostrategy, geopolitics, geoeconomics will shift decisively from rest of the world to India, from US, Europe, Middle East, China to Bharat. The center of gravity of geopolitics, geoeconomics, geostrategy, and world capital will shift from Mediterranean, Atlantic, and Pacific to Indian Ocean. The center of gravity of geopolitics, geostrategy, geoeconomics, world capital, and the global military might will shift from land to ocean and space. It is the monopoly on ocean and space that will define the prowess of the superpower India on land. A very different kind of space-centric, ocean-centric geoeconomics of the new world order will be led by India. There will be multiple wars, multiple conflicts, massive loss of life outside of India. In most of the choke points like Hormuz, Bab el-Mandeb, Suez, etc. The Strait of Malacca will be increasingly dominated by Bharat. And the decline of China will be precipitated more due to its demographic collapse rather than anything else. Everything else will be symptom of its ever deepening demographic collapse. Europe also is going to face severe challenges because of its demographic collapse and lot of internal unrest, especially between the natives and the migrants. And increasingly, Bharat will become the sole island of peace, prosperity, innovation, entrepreneurial, military, spiritual, cultural might. So there will be a massive migration of the top elite intellectuals, scientists from across the world to Bharat. So this is the essential contour of the world between 24 to 36, which will further consolidate between 36 and 50 in the form of the preeminence of a Shiva Swarup, Kailash Swarup Bharat, 3 times of its present geographical spread, multiple times of its present coastline, absolute control on all the choke points and all the oceans, gaining more and more preeminence geopolitically, geostrategically, geoeconomically across the world. That will be the period of 36 to 50, and beyond that, it will be multiple centuries of a very divine new Hindu world order underlined by structural intelligence. That's how the overarching architecture will be. Now, if you want to ask any kind of specific question, go ahead and ask.
Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji, Charan Sparsh. Guruji, so with regards to Africa, again, there is Horn of Africa, there's a lot of distress as Guruji is guided, and that's just provoking everything. There are countries such as Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and other regions which are not that far from the area of tension. What will happen to other parts of Africa?
Africa will increasingly align itself with Vishuddha Hindu Rashtra Bharat, rediscover its own Hindutva, and will emerge as a brotherly Hindu continent, as a disciple continent of Vishuddha Hindu Rashtra Bharat, and will have a better future than what it is today.
Ji, Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji, Charan Sparsh.
Om Namah Shivaya. Any other specific question anyone may have?
Guruji, what currently Hormuz is under siege by Iran. We have seen one attack reported today by Houthis in Bab el-Mandeb. What will happen to the Strait of Bab el-Mandeb in the next few
Hormuz, Bab el-Mandeb, Suez. They will be under constant conflict till 36. That is when India will take over. And beyond that, peace will reside. But this period will drain out the wealth of Middle East, US, Europe, and the entire wealth will come to India.
How is India, Guruji, in this situation, able to get a pass through Hormuz? What is really going on actually? How did India manage that?
So, in the very short term, India is managing it because of its excellent relationship with all parties involved in conflict, whether it is Iran, whether it is UAE, whether it is even US, Israel. So, India is in a very beautiful, unique position of getting its work done through all stakeholders. But that is very short term. Mid-term and long term is that Strait of Hormuz and Bab el-Mandeb, they will channelize the world trade towards India. And India will become the sole guarantor of safety, prosperity in this area, in these straits. And beyond 2036, India is going to control, literally control, Hormuz, Bab el-Mandeb, and Suez, as well as Malacca and eventually all the 7 choke points.
So, Guruji, what are the...
Guruji, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Bolo Sumanji, finish your
Okay.
question.
No, Guruji, actually, my question is more on the specific aspect of energy. Now, with these disruptions in energy because of the blockade that is going on in Strait of Hormuz, and its impact, we are seeing that impact on natural gas, LPG, and all of that. We are starting to see the impact. So, how will India mitigate all of these over the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, next 2-3 years?
No, India will have to suffer the consequences of this war in short term. India will have to do many things. For example, it will have to diversify its source of import of LPG, CNG. It will also have to shift domestically more and more away from LPG to PNG. As you know, LPG is liquefied petroleum gas. The most of it is imported in India, whereas PNG is piped natural gas. 50% of our demand is produced domestically by us, the KG basin, and then there are other locations in Assam and other areas in Northeast from where we produce 50% of our domestic need. As you know, PNG is basically methane, whereas LPG is a mix of propane and butane that you extract during the refining of petroleum. So fundamentally, LPG is very different from PNG. India will do multiple things. A, it will diversify away from LPG towards PNG. It will find new sources of import of LPG. It will also transition more towards green energy. It will try to create more electricity based on wind, solar, etc. It will also partially, little amount will go towards EV also. So it will do multiple things to cope up, but there will be effect. In short term, there will be effect. Not only just in terms of energy crisis, the world is soon going to face food crisis because the disruption of energy is going to lead to disruption in availability of fertilizers, which is going to create food crisis in multiple locations of the world, multiple pockets of the world. And the fragile economies of the world are going to suffer. There is no circumvention to it. India will also be impacted economically. There will be some inconvenience, but obviously India will overcome, and prosperity is the future of India. So even these setbacks in a way will help India to innovate better, diversify better. Aapada mein avsar. Just like the crisis of 1991 brought privatization, globalization to India, liberalization to India, LPG. Similarly, these setbacks will actually act as positive catalysts of the rise of Bharat in long term. But it will take years for the normal global energy supply to stabilize, and it will be stabilized because of India.
Guruji,
हाँ बोलो अमित बेटा.
जी, some of my friends are living in UAE, गुरुजी. जैसे डॉक्टर साहब हैं और हमारे कुछ मित्र हैं, तो उनके लिए फ्यूचर के लिए क्या मतलब क्या करना चाहिए
Move
उनको?
to India.
अच्छा, वहां पर फ्यूचर अभी ऐसे ही रहेगा मतलब?
Forget UAE और स्पेन और यूएस, जहां भी हो वहां से भारत आना पड़ेगा तुम्हें.
अच्छा जी. और उनके जो काम है गुरुजी वहां पर, जैसे उनके बिजनेसेस हैं, उनके
नहीं
पास
रहेंगे वो
फैक्ट्रीज
काम
हैं,
आगे चल के.
नहीं रहेंगे क्या?
Do you know Venice used to be
जी.
the trade capital of the world between 1100 and 1400? आज है क्या? When Ottoman Empire took control over Constantinople, they robbed Venice of the choke point, because of which Venice was a trading hub. Then parallelly, Vasco da Gama also sailed around Cape of Good Hope and found an oceanic alternate route to India, and all the trade benefits of Venice evaporated, and then Venice declined. And the trading families of Venice, who were intelligent enough, they migrated to becoming agricultural feudal lords of mainland Italy and survived. But those who still persisted with trying to do trading out of Venice, they all collapsed. That is how it happens. Similarly, during Roman times, Carthage collapsed. Now you are seeing the same happen to Dubai.
So
So the
Dubai future is
guidance is eventually they will have to move to India. They should immediately move their money to India. Else, if they stay delusionally rooted in UAE, thinking that things will pick up, they will all go bankrupt.
ठीक होता.
जी. ओम नमः शिवाय गुरुजी, चरण स्पर्श.
Om Namah Shivaya.
I have a question, Guruji.
हाँ सुमन जी.
Okay.
So
I think this
decide among yourselves who will ask first, Gaurav ji, Suman ji.
Suman ji, you can go first.
Okay. So, Guruji, one thing which a lot of people are definitely asking here in Europe, and a general question in terms of the next, while the next 12-year churn is going on in different regions of the world, right? Whether India, okay, India will obviously be protected and situation will be better, but let's say the situation in US, situation in Canada, situation in Europe, specifically in terms of different kinds of jobs and the job market, what will happen over the next 12 years, and when will these start disappearing, and how will people really survive when it really gets to the point where there are no jobs, the economy is completely gone? How will the people really survive actually in the West?
See, the Europe's decline is irreversible. And the underlying reason will be basically demographic. The hardest hit will be Italy and Spain very soon, within next 2 generations. Italy and Spain only have 2 generations left in them. The next hit will be Germany. In fact, Eastern European countries will do a shade better than Western European countries. But the decline of Europe as a whole is irreversible. The blowing up of Nord Stream 1 and 2 by US was an irreversible death blow to European Union and Europe. Europe is not going to come out of it ever. Europe will just keep declining demographically, economically for a long period and incrementally lose its geopolitical, geostrategic heft. And like how poor countries continue to exist, like many African countries exist, Europe will also exist. No country collapses or evaporates. It just becomes slowly insignificant, slowly more localized, agrarian, livestock based. That's it. The French decline started with kicking out of France from North African countries. That has robbed France of its free gold, free uranium, currency manipulation, prowess. So French decline is irreversible because of losing North Africa and demographic collapse. Germany losing access to cheap Russian gas and demographic collapse. Italy, Spain, mainly demographic collapse. And that is how Europe will irreversibly decline for a long time to come now. It will continue to exist like any other, let me say, average country. I will not say poor country, but I'll say average country. But they will become inconsequential in larger schemes of geopolitics, geostrategy, geoeconomics, innovation, entrepreneurship. They will be just simply, okay economies, mainly agrarian, living off Indian technology, stuff like that.
Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji. Charan Sparsh.
Om Namah Shivaya, Gaurav. Ask question.
Ji, Guruji. Guruji, so still quite a few Indians are in the space of setting up factories in Bangladesh, and because they still think that the arbitrage is better and it's good resources. What is the future of with all this instability in Bangladesh?
Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Turkey, Syria, Lebanon. These countries will be in turmoil for a long, long time to come. Long, long time to come. And especially Pakistan and Afghanistan have entered in a long period of war. And there will be massive internal civil war within Pakistan. This in turn will have an effect on the stability of Bangladesh. Bangladesh will just continue to exist, besotted with its own problems due to Islamic radicalism, contained by India. Because Bangladesh is surrounded by India from every direction, India will ensure that, Bangladesh, the problems of Bangladesh remains contained within Bangladesh. Internally, they will keep declining. And those who are thinking of setting up factories and stuff like that in Bangladesh, is foolish to do so. They should rather do it in Northeast for that matter, or any part of India.
जी गुरुजी, ओम नमः शिवाय गुरुजी, चरण स्पर्श।
Om Namah Shivaya.
गुरुजी अमेरिका में जो लोग रह रहे हैं, हमारे जैसे जो इंडियंस हैं वहाँ पे, उनके लिए क्या करना चाहिए, स्पेशली पीपल हु आर लिविंग इन द यूएस?
They should live there for some more time,
ओके,
and because US decline will take time, at least 2 decades.
ओके,
So they should make as much money as possible. And the dollar rupee ratio is excellent right now. $1 is around 94 rupees. So make money in dollars, keep transferring them to India, put it in fixed deposits, safe deposits. Don't gamble with it in any stock market, whether it is American or Indian. Put it in fixed deposit. If you have a family in India who can protect the land you purchase, then you can invest in land. Land prices are going to go up in India, but you need someone to take care. Otherwise, you may lose the land to encroachment. Land needs physical protection. So, if you have someone who can protect your land in India for you, you can purchase land also. Gold is a good investment vehicle. So is silver. Essentially, fixed deposits are best in the trustworthy two banks, State Bank of India, HDFC, which are labeled as too big to fail by RBI, or RBI bonds, the best vehicle actually, safest. Just keep transferring your wealth to India, but stay back in US or certain pockets of Europe. Earn as much as you want, as you can, in dollar, euro, Singapore dollar, Swiss franc. These all currencies will go up for some time. And keep transferring your wealth to India in rupees. Benefit from the exchange rate. And just keep your money safe. That's it.
जी गुरुजी।
Any further question?
Guruji, what is the advice for the students who are just studying in US, UK? Should they continue studies and job there, or they should come to India?
Coming to India for non-Indian students of US and UK will be tough. It is not that simple. One is really blessed if one is born as a Hindu Indian. There are some privileges that they are going to enjoy now for next few centuries. For non-Hindu, non-Indians to come back to India will take some special efforts and innovation. For students of US and UK, there are tough times ahead for you. You have to be in top 0.01%. You have to be really, really good in harnessing and leveraging AI. It is the people who will know how to use AI. See, more than the AI scientists and the AI developers, it is the people who are intelligent enough to understand how to commercially use AI who will steal the show. Try to be one of them. And for that, you will need massive subject matter expertise across multiple domains of engineering, medicine. For example, you have to be a master of aerospace engineering, computational engineering, deep ocean mining, and the interface of biological engineering and let us say computer science, mechanical engineering, additive manufacturing. You need to be a master of multiple domains and a master of how to harness and leverage AI to dominate those domains. You have to be subject matter expert of structural intelligence to make a mark in future, especially if you are born and raised and educated in US and UK.
Okay, Guruji, I have a question on,
हाँ
on the
पूछो.
journey of structural intelligence for us. Guruji has just said that eventually all AI, I think he said that the evolution of AI will not be AGI, but it will be structural intelligence. I think Guruji has
Correct.
said this before. So now with Omjana being having all of the key patents related to that, and being the owner of all intellectual property, in the future, as structural intelligence explodes in multiple areas, which we are already seeing the starting point of, what will, in the Guruji's prediction, what will be the, which domain will see the biggest success first, and how will the trajectory of that one be?
Structural intelligence will literally take over every domain of the world. Just like between 1970 and 2000, computer science, software engineer, IT took over every domain. As there is a famous saying, there was a famous saying of 1980, which actually came true, that all industries will essentially become a software industry, which is a fact. Today, you name any industry, it is essentially a software industry. So, similarly, eventually, every industry will become a structural intelligence driven industry. Everything, whether it is drug discovery, whether it is additive manufacturing, whether it is industrial IoT, whether it is 5G, 6G, 7G, whether it is agriculture, whether it is food processing, everything will be structural intelligence sized. Now, the chronological order of the domains which will first become structural intelligence and the domains that will follow later on, let that be a secret, Sumanji. Because if I reveal that, it will create a bias in your sadhana, which is not good for your sadhana. So let that aspect remain a mystery for some time.
Okay. Now, one question I had, Guruji, when I was working through structural intelligence, now at a more of a hands-on level, till about a few weeks back, I had, it was essentially I was studying the concept reports, but now I've got that opportunity with Guruji's blessing to actually start working in it, more of a hands-on, much closer to the algorithms now. What my observation has been, Guruji, is while I look at all of these different operators and these theorems that seem to be working magically actually, and it's not that any of these theorems are some of them are more than 100 years old actually. It's been there for a very long time. How is it that nobody in the world so far, I mean, because this question also gets asked by people like Pratikji, and when I talk to them, many of them are, okay, why are others not thinking about it, right? The question is, these are so intuitive, and when Guruji has explained to it and puts it in the concept note, it makes complete sense actually, and when you try it, it just works like a dream. Why is it that nobody saw that connection? Because these theorems are 100 years old, they're nothing new about
It is like asking Sumanji that law of gravity has always existed.
Yes.
Even though it was mathematically defined and manifested by Newton, then Einstein, but gravity has always been there.
Yes.
So it is like asking that why no one built a spacecraft during Stone Age. See, many ingredients need to come together for a certain thing to manifest. Through Guruji's Brahma Rishi Tattva, through Guruji's divine understanding of what works together, in what combination, and the very recent advent of big data, AI, tools like Claude, which didn't exist before, which has accelerated the speed of putting certain things together, creating models out of it, testing more efficiently. Billions of dollars have gone into training these LLMs, and it is available to us to build the next gen application based on these foundational LLMs. It was not there even 10 years back. The kind of data that is required to train these models didn't even exist 5 years back. So there has been an exponential explosion in hardware, software, GPUs, CPUs, LLMs. Billions of dollars have gone into it. And a ecosystem has shaped up, which has made this Cambrian explosion of structural intelligence possible.
Guruji,
And most importantly, because at this point, Guruji has chosen to incarnate himself.
Yeah, Pratik.